Thank you. My name's Danny, and I'm an alcoholic. And my sobriety date is August 23rd, 1968. I got sober in Soledad State Prison, and that was the first time I tried it. No, that's a lie. First time I tried AA was 1965. No, that's a lie. First time I tried AA was 1963, and I got out. Wait, that first time I got into AA was 1959, and I actually walked in by accident. It was a Friday night, and we're driving around Pacoima, which is where I live, and there's about 25 cars parked out in front of this house, and there's a party going on. They, any house in that neighborhood, either some of them have two cars. One of them's in the front yard on blocks. The other one they use, and we stopped. Hey, there's something going on, and they didn't invite us, so. Uh, at the time, Pacoima was probably the murder capital of Los Angeles. There was so much violence going on. It's really kind of stupid to have an event and not invite the murderer. So we got out of the car, went to the trunk of the car to get tools necessary to crash events. We got tire irons, bumper jacks, piece of pipe. Most of it had some kind of pistol. I had a 38 snub nose, and we went up to the front door, and you can't knock when you're crashing. You can't knock because undesirables, and they just lock the door, and so kicked in the front door, and everybody rushed in, and the first thing we saw was a big sign that said "We care," and we had just crashed the Friday night speakers meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous, and we're all standing in the foyer of this old craftsman house, and walking. Who cares about what? We care about what? We didn't. Nobody knew what it was, and I always told my crew, just stay in a group. We got them. We got all the weapons. Don't worry. But what you guys did was actually you did that divide and conquer. Because when I tried to tell everybody to let's go, you had them all in little groups of four. Telling about tell them about the perils of alcohol and drugs, and the guy comes up to me and says, introduces himself, and I go, yeah, I'm Danny. He said, well, Danny, because I'm holding a case of beer, 3 bottles of wine, a half pint of whiskey. I'm already loaded on pills, Red Devils, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. And this guy comes up and introduces himself and tells me, why don't you put that stuff outside, Danny, and join us? And I said, are you kidding? Come on, you old geezer. He was about 40. And we were all like 16, 15 years old. And I remember him whispering the curse of Alcoholics Anonymous. And he literally said, Danny, if you leave this program, you will die, go insane, or go to jail. That is the stupidest thing in the world to say to a 15-year-old kid. And especially because he's already been in jail, and most of the crew had. And like 2 weeks after we got out of there, I was 1959, I went to California Youth Authority, and it's funny because God, in 1962 or 63, I think I ran into a guy named Johnny here, because the meetings in institutions, it's like you have to sign up for them, and anything you sign in prison goes in your file, in your jacket. And so Frank Russo, one of the friends of mine who had shot a kid and shot a cop in front of Sun Valley Receiving Hospital. He was already in youth authority when I got there, and he had, found Jesus, or I thought, I don't know what he found, and he came, Danny, you want to go to this AA meeting? And I said, what is that? And he told me, no, I don't want to go. He said, they got they got cigarettes. They give you tailor made. I think I gotta come on. I'm a journeyman convict. I got cartons of cigarettes, and I mean, yeah, but they bring coffee and cake. I said, come on, they give me that out of the kitchen. And then he kind of mentioned the one commodity that was. He said, girls are coming up, and I just said, what time's that meeting? And so that means I go to the captain's office and I sign up. I would like to go to Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, I can't say to see the girls. It's like I have to say to deal with my alcohol problem. And in my case, alcohol and drug problem, because NA wasn't even thought about then. And so I went to that meeting, and girls were there. They were beautiful. We talked and everything. But I met this guy, Johnny Harris, and and see, everybody kind of wears prison clothes, but if you're a journeyman convict, yours are like starched and pressed and pleated, and you got pressed prison. You just dress, and everybody wears those ugly prison shoes, and you got tailor-made boots, and so spit shined, and so I remember Harris, that what he said. First thing was, hey, only thing that's gonna beat you to San Quentin is the headlights on the bus. And I thought it was a compliment. I didn't know what you were talking about. And it's funny because I went to four different penitentiaries, and Johnny Harris was always the outside speaker. I was always the inside speaker. I mean, it was because you have to understand. The very next week, when they said Alcoholics Anonymous, I said I don't want to go, but your name is on the list. Okay, now if your name is on that list, if there's an atomic bomb, they know you died in the AA meeting because your name was on that. They checked it. Oh no, he was there. His body, and so that signature was to follow me throughout the penitentiary, and that was from 1959 to what I stopped going to joint 1969, and 10 years. It just followed me, and so God knew what he was doing because I needed the help. I never stayed out of jail that long. I never stayed out of prison. I had an uncle, my Uncle Gilbert, who I adored, turned me on to weed when I was about 8. I threatened to snitch on him at 12 when he had heroin. I didn't even know what it was. I just knew my uncle was taking it, and that was my role model. And I threatened to snitch on him if he didn't give me some. And he gave me some, and damn, that was it. And of course, I couldn't run around with him and keep getting heroin. I found that magic elixir, Tokay. That's the most awful tasty stuff in the world. Tokay wine, hot, and we used to go into Dale's Market on the way to junior high school. Everybody would grab 2 bottles and run out. And Rudy Zamora was the police there. He was hired by the store, and we could outrun him. And we would go in this empty house, drink before we went to school. And I got to tell you that San Fernando and Pacoima used to fight all the time. And for some reason, the guys from San Fernando seemed bigger than us. They seemed bigger than us. And you have to stand there on the A9 court, which was out of bounds. And because we were in the 7th grade, and we're like looking at these guys that are bigger than us because they're A9, they're in the big court, and was scared to death, but you couldn't show it. Now you get a little bit of that Tokay in you, just a little, not, just not falling down drunk, but enough to think you're like King Kong, and it's like you have this gift of gab. Wine gives you a gift of gab, and you're looking at them. They're staring at you with their mean look. You got this. Hey, if you're looking for your mother, she's back there. I'm done with her, and go get her. And whoa, how did I say that? That was amazing. And all of a sudden, I realized that people are not afraid of tough guys. People slap tough guys, but crazy people do not like to get near crazy. In Vacaville, which is the state mental hospital for the criminally insane, you can be in the hall, murdering, killing, yeah, and then they bring one of them guys down from S-Wing that's chewing on his own tongue, and everybody jumps out of the way. This guy couldn't eat a grape, you know what I mean? But just the fact that he is that gone, it's like he strikes fear in you. And so it's like the crazier you can get, the more people stay away from you. So in junior high school, if you get in a fight and you bite somebody's cheek, it's like all of a sudden he tried to eat me, and it's like people get like you get a reputation that people don't, and I love that. That helped me throughout my whole prison career. My uncle Gilbert went before me, so he taught me the ins and outs. Taught me how to box when I was like 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. So coming into prison, I immediately started boxing. I boxed in youth authority, champion. I boxed in every penitentiary that I was in. I was lightweight and welterweight champ. So that automatically gives me a platform or whatever. It's like people bet on the stupidest thing in the world. I love Mexicans, but sometimes they're dumb. It's an exhibition, but yeah, but we got money on you. Dude, it's an exhibition. It's pretendies. Yeah, but I got money on you. So, okay, should I tell this guy that I'm fighting to go for what he knows, or should I just try to knock him out? And I would tell him, hey, they got money on me, home, so we got to go for it, and usually we had some pretty good fights, and you don't you don't want to lose if too many people got money on you. Not in prison, and because people hold resentments, and I love that, and so it's like you have to understand. All this time, I knew about Alcoholics Anonymous. The worst thing in the world is a body full of drugs and alcohol and a mind full of Alcoholics Anonymous. It is the absolute, you can be dead drunk and think about, oh God, where's my sponsor? Shut up. You know what I mean? You have this war going on, the drunk you and the AAU. You have this big war going on that's like, hey, you're supposed to be sober. Hey, you're not. And it's funny, man. It's like I could always tell. Anytime I was in a bar, I could always tell when people had been in the program because they will slip. They're like, my sponsor's gonna be pissed, or something. I should have went to a meeting. And they'll say something that has to do with this program. And I got out of the pen that time in 1965. I got 30 days clean, and I was going to be I was going to be 21, and I'd already been shooting heroin. I did time, and I had an uncle that would take me on robberies, and so basically, in 1965, when I got out of prison, I lasted 100 days. I had 30 days clean and sober. And then I went to this meeting, and there was this guy about 60, I guess, I was going to be 21, and he was talking about everything he lost. I was an engineer, and I had a cabin in Mammoth. I think Mammoth is a hairy elephant as far as I was concerned. I didn't know what he was talking about. Cabin in Mammoth, and two cars, and I was drinking scotch, and scotch I went to bourbon. In bourbon I went to beer. I lost all my material wealth, and I ended up drinking wine. I never drank any of those except for wine, and boy, I drank wine. I had to find out how to keep wine down because I would take a big swallow and bah. But if you get Kool-Aid and you put it in the wine, don't shake it and then drink it. It's like, ooh, it goes down. And it's like, wow, strawberry wine. And it's like, then they came out with Ripple, that's just like candy, man. And so it was like staying drunk, staying loaded all the time. And so I remember going to this meeting and this guy talking about everything he lost. And God, I never had nothing. So I'm thinking about, wait a minute, where's mine? Where's mine? Where's mine? I want a cabin in Mammoth. And this guy, somebody else would get up and start like, can you top this? I drank for 55. Shit, I'm not 21 yet. And this guy's talking, I think, whoa, I got 35 years left to go. And they would just talk this story about what they had and what they lost. And I remember telling Frank Russo, the kid that got me into the program way back in Youth Authority, I said, Frank, I'm not an alcoholic, man. I didn't know that shit. And I want a cabin in Mammoth. And he kind of said, don't never tell one of your sponsors, you might have to try some controlled. You don't never say that because we're just stupid. You know what I mean? Hey, I went into a bar that night called The Retreat after the meeting, called The Retreat. And I sat there and I ordered a Coke. Honest to God, you have a Coke. Quietly, I didn't yell it out. And I had a Coke and I was drinking a Coke. All of a sudden, a young lady about 60 walked into the bar, and I'm checking her out, and immediately goes to the pool table and she starts like playing with the cue ball because that's the only thing that's out. And she's looking at me, and I turn immediately into Willie Masconi. Hey, I got that cue. You want to show you how to shoot some pool, baby? Yeah. Naturally, being a gentleman, give her a beer. You're about to buy her a beer. I'll never forget the humiliation that bartender did. He went, Danny, do you want another? You know what this means? A sody water? I am an ex-convict. I'm an armed robber. I'm one tough sucker. And you're going to tell me you want a sody water? And he's going to say it very quietly. So no, now give me a beer. I mean, what the hell? I drank. Nothing happened. Just drank it. Cool. And then ordered another beer. And that's the last thing I remember. I ordered that other beer. I don't know what happened to her, but I remember hearing last call for alcohol. And I remember like opening up. And I'm living in the federal halfway house. I got to be home because the Friday now, I got to be home by 12. Because it's a Friday, I can go out. I know it's good. They do that at 1:45. Last call for alcohol. I was, oh my God, it's a violation, And I remember getting a 6-pack of beer, putting it on and starting to walk. I didn't have a car. Walk to the halfway house. I was going down Vineland, and I seen this car coming. Just, I know it's somebody I know. And it was actually a kid named Dennis, and he had a 1969 Chevy Impala. And he said, Trejo, what's up? Help me. I dropped this jar of Reds. Had a whole jar of pills that he spilled on White Tuckin Road. And the Reds are like, they're just like, so we started, thank God I had that beer because, you can't take the pills. Anyway, that was a Friday. And I'm thinking this is definitely not violation. Bam! We woke up in the middle of North Hollywood Park crashed the car right in the middle of this park. And Dennis started screaming, "Get the guns, get the guns." And I look in the trunk, there's a couple of shots, and I went to get them. And he goes, "No, no, the one's in the trunk." And God, man, so I have no idea where we got all the guns, but it's really stupid. Ex-convict with a gun, that's automatic 5 years. And who knows what we did in the blackout. And anyway, all this, go to jail again, right? Come on out. We have the house surrounded. And everybody, that's a gangster too. "Come and get me, copper." When you hear we have the house surrounded, your voice goes up about 8 octaves. "Don't you?" and you come out, hands up. And anyway, I went to jail. That's all. That's all. Gave me a 10-year sentence, and it was kind of strange that that's one of the things that saved my life, really, because I was gonna die. And Soledad, 1968. I'd been to 4 different prisons. I ended up in Soledad. And in Soledad, we had a riot, Cinco de Mayo, May 5th, 1968. Everybody thinks that Cinco de Mayo means 5th of May. Don't believe it. It means you better have bail money. That's what it means, because you're going to jail. Cinco de Mayo, it was, I think, Mexican independence. No, it wasn't. It was a battle that they won, the Battle of Puebla, just a little battle. And literally, we celebrated. The Mexicans celebrated, yeah, we won something. And basically, it was like a day to get drunk, a day for your wife to stab you for something, to shoot at the neighbor, to crash a car. It's just, that's the day. And so that's why you better have bail money. And literally, me, Ray Pacheco, and Henry Quijada, all 3 of us went to the hole. There was a riot. And I remember Henry saying, "Hey, they're going to top us on," because all the crimes that we went to the hole for were all gas chamber offenses. And I thought, wow, this is crazy. And again, there's no worse feeling in the world than a body full of alcohol and a mind full of Alcoholics Anonymous. I know better than this. I'm not supposed to be here. Why am I here? Because of alcohol. Why did I crash that car? Because of alcohol. Why did I hit my wife? Because of alcohol. It was like unreal. It's like, it's so simple, but that's why they say that it's like it's a simple program for complicated people. Take alcohol and drugs out of your life. You're still an idiot. But at least you're like sober. Oh, I got a thought. When alcohol takes the thought. And what I love about this program, it gives you an opinion, and the opinion is based on what you know from Alcoholics Anonymous. I knew nothing about staying sober. I learned a lot in Alcoholics Anonymous, didn't apply it till 1968 in Soledad, started doing what I promised God. If you let me die with dignity, I will say your name every day, and I will do whatever I can for my fellow inmate. I said inmate. I never thought I was getting out of prison. I went to parole in July of 1969. I went to the parole board. Mad Dog Madden. First thing he said to me was, "Trejo, we're sick of you." I remember saying, well, that's a nice way to start a conversation. And he said, "You know what? Get out of here. Get out of here. Bring us back a life sentence." For the parole board to tell you to bring us back a life sentence means they have absolutely no faith in you whatsoever. They know you're going to be out 10, 15, 20, 25 days and come back. And so I remember I got out August 23rd, 1969. And I was standing in front of my mom's. That was a Saturday. I was standing in front of my mom's, and it was Sunday, and I was watching this lady push out her trash cans, because this is when you used to put everything in a tub and just put it out, and they didn't have the big cans they got now, and I remember to go in to help her. But in this neighborhood, I'd broken into every house, I'd robbed told every lawnmower. The connection had everybody's lawnmower. And literally, when I walked up to help her, I remember she goes, "No me robas, then don't rob me." I said, "Shut up, lady." And I grabbed her trash can, I pulled it out. I went to the backyard to get her other one. And I remember she never took her eyes off me, because she knew I was going to break for that garage and grab a lawnmower. So I remember bringing out that other trash can, and then I walked away. And I got a feeling she was never took her eyes off me, but the feeling that I had when I was going for the trash can, the way she was looking at me was different than when I was walking away. It was like a wow, and I felt good. The first present I remember getting in 1969, September, I think, this guy with real bad arthritis. I've got arthritis in this thumb, and it always reminds me of that. He had crippling arthritis in his hand, so he couldn't grab his cans. So he would like kick them out. And I remember taking his cans out, and I remember him just staring at me all the time, and he gave me a jacket, a fake suede jacket, double-breasted, and I remember asking my mom, "Who jacket? That man brought it, that guy." I never forget that. I remember, wow, looking at him and saying, "All right, thanks. I like that jacket." And that's what we've been doing since I've 55 years. I've been being of service. That's what this program is to me. That program is not about what I'm going to get, because it's coming. Do you understand? It's coming. I just can't expect it. In 1991, I did a movie called Blood In and Blood Out. I did it in San Quentin, and I happened to meet this guy named Mario Castillo, and we started talking about staying clean, staying sober. And 8 years later, I run into him in a Narcotics Anonymous convention. And he said, "I took your advice, man. I got into this rehab and I'm doing good." And then he started doing really well. He started working for the needle exchange and helping drug addicts and stuff. And then he needed a liver transplant. And he kind of lost everything because he had to go into the hospital and stuff. And when he got out, I remember saying, "Well, so move in. I got a house and, extra room. Answer my phone. You work for me." And it's like 9 years ago, he saved my son's life. You know, 9 years ago, my son was in a crack house. And I hate to say it, I'm the worst parent in the damn world. All I know how to do is give money and credit cards. It's like, what do I do? I don't know. And Mario just kicked in the front door to this crack house, and he grabbed my son, pulled him out. I was in Germany. I came back 2 days later, and we took him up to Rim of the World, which is up in Lake Arrowhead, and it's funny, he's got 9 years clean and 9 years sober, and that's the way God works, though. Do you understand? You don't know. You don't know. You do something you don't expect getting paid. It's coming. I got it all coming. And it's like people sometimes, well, you have a Mollyana attitude. I don't know what that means, but I'll be Molly in a minute, because my life is a dream. My life is a dream. Everything just keeps working out. I started today with one legacy. We're helping this program that gets like livers and heart transplants the people, and also work with no lock doors, the ARC. That's the people that help us get people out of prison that have been there too long. So far we've got like 100% track record. All the people that come into ARC where we work stay out, find them jobs. And, it's kind of like you go to prison when you're 16, you're a different person when you're 50, and so it's like life is so good. And Polly's project is we give homeless homeless people like clothes and non-perishable food and stuff. And it's like, people, why do you do that? Don't you understand? It makes you feel so good. It makes you just feel so good to help somebody. And it's like, what is it? You give somebody your old shirt. You know what I mean? And it's like, they're like, oh, thank you. I remember one time when I was going through a divorce and I was mad and I had a bunch of fives and tens on me, and I was downtown and I started passing out fives and ten to the homeless, this one lady, man, she had two beautiful little kids, right? But she's homeless. She's down there and I remember I just gave her. She was selling those bracelets that are made out of string. They're just like thread bracelets, that's all. I don't know what they mean, but I got two of them and I dropped a 20, and she was scared. No, I don't have that change. No, that's okay. That's okay. And this lady started blessing me, like, oh my God, thank you. I can buy my children shoes. And I, where are you shopping? I wanted to know where she was shopping, and I remember walking away. Divorce, who cares? I don't mean that. I don't mean that. I mean, I don't mean that it's not painful. I don't mean that death isn't painful. I mean, you just can't wallow in that death, in that pain. That's the one thing this program has taught me. You know what I mean? Feel it and then get rid of it. Feel it and go do something for someone else. And it doesn't go away, but it doesn't hurt as bad. We have no magic elixir other than being sober. Being sober lets me be available for people that need me. That's what it does. When I get a phone call from one of my cousins and says, please help my son. He's like, I'm there. I'm available. And I love that fact. And I love the fact that this program has made me available to a whole lot of people. This program has made me be there. So far, everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. I got into the movie business, helping a kid. Called me up and said, "Hey, Dan, there's a lot of blow at my job." And I was okay. 11 o'clock at night, drank too much coffee. I'll go down there. Walked onto the set of a movie called Runaway Train. John Boyd and Eric Roberts. Ran into a guy named Eddie Bunker that I knew in San Quentin. And I said, Eddie, what are you doing here? He said, I adapted the screenplay, because he was a writer. We used to call him the brain. He's really smart. And he asked me, what are you doing, Dan? I said, well, I'm helping this kid stay clean. He said, well, you know what? You still boxing? No, man, I'm 40 years old. I can't get hit in the face no more. Look at my mug. And he said, we need somebody to train one of the actors how to box. Now, they were going to give me $50 for acting like a convict. And we laughed because we'd been doing that for free all our lives. And he said, well, it pays $320 a day. And when he said that, I said, how bad do you want this guy beat up? I figured that's a hit. He was mad at somebody. I'd have done it for another $50 and then wrote about it and told my sponsor. And he goes, no, you got to be careful. This actor's really high strung, man. You can't hit him. I said, he might sock you. I said, shit, $320. Give him a stick, homie. I've been beat up for free. I couldn't believe they were going to give me $320 for a pretendsy fight. You know what I mean? And I started training an actor named Eric Roberts. how to box for a movie called Runaway Train. And one of the stunt coordinators saw that I would follow instructions. He came up and he told me, look, at a lot of the guys that have boxed, they really have a real hard time because they throw straight punches. Well, when you throw a straight punch, it doesn't show on camera. It's real fast. You got to do these looping punches. I thought, okay, you know what you're doing. I don't. And I started doing that. Right after that movie, said, Danny, you know what? I got another film. You know what I mean? I need somebody, because the director of that movie gave me a SAG card because he saw I could control this actor, and he gave me a SAG card, which is literally changed my life. Literally got me from making 150 uh, a week after taxes to almost 900 to $1,000 a week doing really just extra work. And so I was like, wow. So all I had to do, wow, what did AA taught me? Listen, mouth, what did the terrorists say? One mouth, two ears, two eyes. That means shut your mouth and listen with your ears. Watch with you. And that's what I would do. And it's been like that ever since. Ever since. I've done over 400 different. I've got more deaths than anybody in Hollywood. I've died more times, and everybody like tries to tease me. Hey, you've died a lot. Yeah, I went to the bank a lot. You know what I mean? And it's like, I mean, I'm well known in Hollywood for being available and considerate, and what do you call it? Being uh, on time, and what is it? God, Harris said something. If you're not a half hour early, you're a half hour late. And then what the hell does that mean? Well, be a half hour late and see what happens. So I learned how to be a half hour early no matter what. And people like that. So Alcoholics Anonymous, I think they took this maniac and gave him the right medication, which was the 12 steps, to like settle down. So like, wait a minute, this is the way it's supposed to be done. You're supposed to listen to people. You're supposed to do what people says. Why do they call him a director? You know what I mean? And it's so funny. I can remember saying that. What is your style? I says, my style is do whatever that director says. And they go, oh, because everybody else is like Strasberg and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't know any of them. I just, I mean, I just do what the director says, and it seems to work out. I keep working, and that's the secret. Everything good that has happened to me has happened as a direct result of helping someone else. I got into the restaurant business by helping out a director that had a low budget movie, and he needed a name, and a low budget movie means you're not going to make your rate. They might feed you a sandwich, and so I yeah, sure. I helped him to be the name for him to get the money, and it was funny. I met this producer named Ash Shaw, who saw that I won't eat Mickey D's. I won't eat, that. I always bring a tuna salad or a chicken salad, just to eat, rather than take. Not that the catering ain't good, but on a real low budget movie, a lot of times they just, go to Max or go to Jack's or and so he said, hey, Danny, you eat good. I said, I'm 69 years old. I better eat good. You know what I mean? And he said, why don't you open a restaurant? Jokingly, I said, Trejo's Tacos. We did that movie Badass. We did Badasses. And then we did Badass on the Bayou. So that low budget turned into a trilogy. And I made a good chunk of change. And when we were doing Badass on the Bayou, that producer brought me a business plan. Okay, well, I opened the business plan. It's about 12 pages, and there was no killing or mayhem in the first page. So I gave it to my agent, and she said, "Danny, this is a no-brainer. It's the first time that somebody doesn't want 100 grand or 25,000 for an investment. These guys want to work with you." And I was okay. So we have 4 restaurants right now. So we have 4 restaurants right now, and we're putting one up in Detroit, like the House of Blues, with a venue with Live Nations, and then we're putting one in London. So everything good that's happened to me, a direct result of helping someone else, and I'm available. Twixie is I got a record label. I got a record label helping a lady that was in a battered woman's shelter and her daughter could sing. And all of a sudden we got a record label. We sold out in Tennessee. We sold out in just everywhere. We've been doing really, really well. And Trejo's music, I think it's funny. Just I know nothing about the music industry. I know nothing about the restaurant. Don't tell anybody, because I can really act like I do. No, I'm a great actor. A little more spice in that, and so it just works out. God knows what He's doing, and I just I follow His lead, and it just seems to be working out. I think I'm talking too long, but I just I just know that this program will give you everything you've ever wanted. Do you understand? You got to understand. I came from the hole in Soledad. Do you understand? The hole with uh, no hope for success. Nobody did. Everybody knew I was going to come back. The parole board, like I said, they weren't sick of you. But this program, it's given me a lease on life. My kids are clean and sober. My son is now a director. Do you understand? He directs music videos. He directs movies. He actually just got nominated for an award in London. He directed this music video, but London doesn't like Americans, so he came in second. I think his music video was awesome. You know what I mean? But it was funny. He said, "Dad, the room was stacked. It's like everybody knew everybody and everybody talked funny. So I thought they're all from London. So, but I said, well, the important part is that you got nominated." He goes, "Yeah, yeah. Put that on your resume." Yeah. I don't know. I love being sober. I thank God every morning I wake up. I thank Him just for waking up. Hey, I'm on the green side of the grass. Thank you. And I don't know. That's about all. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless all of you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Danny.